Hello and welcome to today's Daily Prelims Practice session. Today, we will be taking up certain MCQs based on the important topics which has appeared in today's The Hindu as well as Indian Express Daily edition. The topics which are to be discussed have been displayed on your screen and a timestamping of the same has been provided in the description box below. So now, let us begin our session. The first question which we are going to discuss today is in the relation of municipal corporation. The question has been taken from the recent context of the study which was conducted by the RBI, and it has concluded that the combined budget of all the municipal corporations in India is much smaller than that of a central and the state governments. This study was titled as Reports on Municipal Finances. So first, this report is very important. The name of this report is important, and who has made this report is also important. However, today we are going to discuss the question in the relation of municipal corporations. If you go by the previous year question paper analysis, you will understand that the questions which are related to certain constitutional or extra constitutional bodies are relevant when it comes to the prelims examination. For example, in 2017, the question was asked in relation to the Metropolitan Planning Committee. Moreover, when it comes to the local governance, whether it is of the rural area or it is of the urban area, this local governance itself is a very important topic for prelims as well as mains. So here, give yourself some time, pause the screen and try to attempt this previous year question. We will be moving towards today's question. The question asks you, with respect to municipal corporations, consider the following statements. There are three statements given and you have to find the incorrect statement. Now be very clear whenever you read the question that whether it is asking your correct statements or the incorrect statements. Many a times in hurry there is a tendency that we mark the correct options and then we commit the silly mistakes. So in this question also you have to take the incorrect option. Statement 1 says, they are established in the states by the acts of the concerned state legislature. Correct. Second statement, all the councillors in the councils are elected directly by the people. No, all the councillors are not elected directly. There are certain councillors who are also nominated, and therefore this statement is incorrect. Third, the municipal commissioner is the chief executive authority of the corporation and is appointed by the central government. No, he is appointed by the state government, and therefore statement 3 is also incorrect. And that is why 2 and 3 will be the correct answer, because you have to find the incorrect statements, and therefore option C, 2 and 3 is the correct answer. As far as the answer to this previous year question is concerned, option A, 1 and 2 only are the correct answer. Now let us move towards the DPP question number 2. This question is in the relation of the census. The census, which we all know was to be conducted in 2021 but wasn't conducted. So therefore in today's The Hindu Daily edition, at the text and the context page, the topic has appeared which has a headline, the delay in the decennial census. Now this term is important, and we all know that the general census is conducted after the interval of 10 years in India. Again, the previous year question in this context is not directly related to the census, because obviously the last census was 10 years back. But again, in 2017, the question was asked related to the elections and the Election Commission of India. So we understand that whenever there is a pan-India exercise which is from the polity or the governance perspective and affects the India's policy making, all those pan-India exercises are important, whether it is conducted by some constitutional body or not. So in this relation, we are going to discuss the question for today. Consider the following statements with reference to the national census exercise. Again, there are three statements given, and in this question you have to find the correct statement. First is, census is a decennial exercise which is carried out in 2 phases. Correct? Second, India's first proper census was carried out in 1951 after India gained independence. No, this statement is incorrect, because the first proper census in India was conducted in 1881. There were certain censuses which were also conducted in India prior to 1881, but those censuses were restricted to a particular area, let's say within a city or the group of cities. But The larger census in India was conducted in 1881, and therefore this statement is incorrect. The third statement says the Census Act of 1948 binds the government to release the census data in a notified period. Again, this statement is incorrect. This act does not bind the government to conduct the census at the regular interval of 10 years, and also it does not bind the government to release the census data within a notified period. And therefore, because 2 and 3 are incorrect, and hence option A, 1 only is the correct answer. Now going to the answer of the previous year question. So here option D, 3 only is the correct answer. The third question is from the international relations section. The topic has appeared in the context of the Young Professionals Scheme, which was recently signed between India as well as Britain. Now, these schemes, initiatives, programs are always important when it comes to the bilateral relationship between India and some other country. For example, in UPSC 2019, the question was asked in the context of the Action Plan for Prioritization and Implementation of Cooperation Areas in the Nuclear Field. So try to attempt this particular question also. Today's question is, consider the following with reference to the Young Professionals Scheme recently mentioned in news. There are two statements and you have to find the correct statement out of the given two statements. Statement 1 says, it has been launched by the World Bank and the Government of India. This statement is incorrect, as we have seen in the headline that this was launched by India and Britain. This particular scheme was announced at the G20 summit, which was there in November, and this scheme is launched at the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, which was organized on 9th January 2023. So that is why this statement is incorrect. Statement 2 says, it aims to upgrade the skills of the graduates in the fields of artificial intelligence and machine learning. Again, this statement is also incorrect because this scheme was signed as a part of the Migration and Mobility Memorandum between India and UK at G20. So option D, neither 1 nor 2 is the correct answer. As far as the answer to this previous year question is concerned, option B, Russia, is the correct answer. Now comes to question number 4. We all are aware about the recent tragedy which is upcoming at a place called Joshimath in Uttarakhand. So this editorial has appeared in Indian Express and discusses in detail about the conditions which are there in the Joshimath. So in this relation, we are going to discuss today's question. Now Joshimath is basically sinking. There have been evidences of land subsidence in that particular area, which in turn is leading to a huge tragedy, creating potential losses to lives as well as property. So we all know that that particular area is very fragile, not only ecologically but also seismically, because Uttarakhand Himalayas lie one of the most tectonically active areas and also seismic zone 5. So when you see the previous year questions, the questions from the geophysical phenomena are very important. For example, in 2017, the question was asked in relation to the climatology's phenomena, that is Indian Ocean Dipole. So to answer this question, obviously you should know the basics of the IOD as well as the El Nino. So give yourself a try and try to attempt this particular question. The question for today is very simple and conceptual. Which of the following factors are responsible for Himalayas' high vulnerability to earthquakes? First is tectonically active region. Yes, because in Himalayas we know that there is an active collision which is going on between the Indian plate as well as the Eurasian plate. Both of these are the crustal plates, and that is why these areas experience shallow foci earthquakes. And because these are shallow foci earthquakes, their impact upon the earth's surface is very dangerous. So that is why this statement is true. These are tectonically active regions. Second, they are sedimentary nature of rocks. Again, we understand that because Himalayas are the young folded mountains, so the folded mountains are formed out of the crumbling of the sediments which were there in the Tethys Sea. And because the sedimentary nature of rocks are very soft, and hence they are vulnerable to such disasters. Third is high human interference. Now, the example of this is the Joshimath. So, not just the natural factors, but the human factors. For example, excessive dam construction, excessive infrastructure construction, not following the building codes and bylaws. All these activities have further increased the vulnerability of Himalayas to the earthquakes. So, all these three factors are responsible, and hence option D, 1, 2, and 3 are the correct answer. As far as the answer to this question is concerned, option B is the correct answer. So now let us move towards our fifth question. This question is in relation to the governor and has been framed in the context of this particular headline. Recently, the Tamil Nadu governor has walked out of the house as the chief minister of that state objected to the deviation from the speech. And this is one of the unprecedented face-off. But remember, unprecedented does not mean that it has not occurred anytime, anywhere in India before. So this is the hint which will help you to solve this particular question. Going by the previous year questions, in 2019 the question was asked in relation to the governors and the state legislature. So again, parliament as well as the state legislatures both are very important when it comes to the prelims examination. So now let us see today's question. A bit lengthy question, but UPSC in recent times is also asking the lengthy question. So try to develop the habit of reading such questions fast and try to understand these lengthy lines. The statement 1 says, at the commencement of the first session after each general election to the Legislative Assembly and at the commencement of the first session of each year, the governor addresses the Legislative Assembly or, in case of a state having Legislative Council, both the houses assembled together. This statement is correct because it is a factual statement and is mentioned in Article 176 of Indian Constitution. Hence, this statement is correct. Statement 2 is from the current context. The governor of Tamil Nadu not completing the special address prepared by the state government and skipping some of its part and walking out midway is the first such aberration in Indian legislative history, and no such incidences has occurred in the past in any Indian state. So yes, you have rightly guessed the hint which I provided in the beginning of this topic. So this statement is incorrect, and that is why option A, 1 only, is the correct answer. There have been certain instances in states like West Bengal also where the governor has walked out of the Legislative Assembly. As far as the answer to the previous year question of 2019 is concerned, option C, that is both 1 and 2, is the correct answer. So that was all for today. All the very best and study hard.